Welcome to the Hampshire 1900 start for Workers and Resources Soviet Republic, and we're picking up on the 16th of June 1919, which is about 5 months on from the end of the last part. And the reason for that is that, well, there's not much to do at the moment. I'm in a little bit of an impasse because in the last part we planned all our kind of rail construction here. You can see we've got a long way to go yet before this is actually going to be online. And of course, over here the situation is even worse because we've got back our annual queue here, courtesy of the covered holes coming here to collect crops to keep our kind of food and clothes industry going. And we're not really going to solve that until we've actually got this construction industry up and running. You see, we are making progress, but it is very slow. I've also got quite a loyalty problem, so I'm going to make a little bit of a controversial announcement, simply because I feel that we've got to start driving the loyalty, because it's now starting to actually have an effect on our happiness. So, oh, come off it, game. No. Okay, thank you, game. This could be quite a big earthquake as well. This could be fairly devastating. We've got fire there. We've got no collapsed buildings. As the earthquake report. This is our first actual. It's a 6.4. Well, we saved that building. We're probably going to lose that garbage dump. We've got fire burning here. I thought I'd got this. That's probably going to be. We've lost the kindergarten, which is going to be a bit of a problem. We got that fire here. We lost a building there. We've put that fire out. Okay, so this is our first major disaster, which is going to have an effect. This needs to be high priority. In fact, we might be able to turn this to our advantage, because we got, where's the other kindergarten? We've got a kindergarten there. It's going to take a little while to clear this. I think what we're going to do is, rather than actually just trying to rebuild that, we're going to build another one, I think, which is okay, let me just get in here. Pause, think. Which kindergarten was this? This was the corner kindergarten. Because of course what's going to happen is that if we don't rebuild the kindergarten quickly, village kindergarten, this is the corner one, this is 216. We are on 1919. We're going to rebuild it, but we're going to rebuild it here. I think it will still cover yeah, cover most of the city, because this one covered up into there. In fact, could I build this into here behind the store? Let me just zoom out. I think if we put it there, I'll put the corner kindergarten just there. We'll put it push it in. It's got full services. It's got power. We are gonna put you in there. High priority. Super high priority, please. You guys, absolutely 100% make sure that you have picked that up. Yeah. This we'll just have to clear our own time. That will mean that we will have you've had a bit of a population loss as well, because that building collapsed to 100. We might have also affected, I'm not sure if actually we would have lost children there. Yeah, we've had that little drop because of course the kids that were inside the kindergarten would have died. So we've got a bit of a population loss, which is a bit of a dilemma, simply down to the fact that we've now got this area here, right? Let me just see. Yeah, we're going to click. Actually, we're going to remove that priority, and we're going to make clearing this away the high priority, because we need to rebuild that J department. That was our first actual major earthquake to actually hit this area, just at a time when I had a bit of a backlog of actual buildings to repair. And the reason for that was, I don't know if I've actually fixed this. Yeah, I did. What actually happened was I set this to 3,500 meters, and what happened was it was actually coming down here to repair these docks down here, which was a bit of a problem because of course it was sending trucks down here, which I desperately needed up here. So we're gonna have to do what we can. I don't know if I could fit in. Trying to think, can I get some accommodation in here to compensate for the loss of that? I think we could put in another J department here. Let me just see. It's got all the services. So if I put in another J department here, and if I can, and if we put in this here, we've got, is that? I think that's just connecting to the cinema though, isn't it? I would like, ideally, what I'd like to do is get a asphalt footpath out of here. Okay, we can do it that way. Oops. No, don't want that one. Cancel. I think if we can build an asphalt footpath there through to there, that should improve the walking. Get rid of that. And we can put in the kindergarten there. That will cover that distance. And then this kindergarten will cover the rest. And what we will, I suppose if you could look on the positive side, although it's a bit macabre, in losing the children means that we've lost a bit of a generation. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to just nudge the birth rate to compensate for that loss. Okay, so let me just finish the introduction now. I would say over here things were going okay. What I've done up here is kind of produced a little bit of a experiment. What I've built is a tiny cement works here and a charcoal kilns here, because I've realized that we got surplus of wood here, which we could then send to here to make some coal, which we can also use to make some cement. Which now there's a kind of dual thought process going on here. One, if we can make a little bit of cement here, that means we won't have to import cement in the long term. So what I'm doing is creating a degree of self-sufficiency. And what I'm also hoping is that if we can produce some coal here on these charcoal kilns, when we put in a fueling station, which I am going to put in about here, I've kind of thought everything through, and I think we need the coaling station here. We can then use the coal from here to run the coaling station, especially in the beginning when we're kind of just getting set up, simply because we're only going to have one train. Because I was also thinking a little bit about how we're actually going to upgrade the tracks, and the only way I can think about it at the moment is that once we get the necessary research done, which is the research for concrete railway, which if I show you here, which will be in 1928. Once we get to 1928, we'll start on an upgrade program, and then if we got a train running, we're just gonna have to run it almost like a single train, moving backwards and forwards with key resources. How are we doing here? Yeah, well, now of course, what is the composition of the construction waste here? It doesn't tell me. Oh, great. I think the dump up here can handle it. If it can't, actually, what we can do is you fix waste, just dump directly to the border. We got plenty. We got 500,000. We can afford to just sell the mixed waste. That will mean that we won't overload our incinerator. We've got new vehicles coming in as well. These are NATO vehicles. Now, the use of these is a little bit debatable. These are mods, and we get a whole series of these will be appearing, and they actually double as excavators. Yeah, you can see here we've got the Erie steam shovel and the Marion steam shovel. Now, the Erie steam shovel is an excavator of 20, but it's not much use as a bulldozer. And the Marion steam shovel is 18, and it's not much use for a bulldozer. And plus, they're very slow moving. But where they do come into their own is in situations like this here. You can put them into here, where they're actually going to in quarries, but you remember to put the gas station quite close, because every so often they will wander off to go and get some gas reserves. But the problem is that I've had problems putting them onto trucks to move them around, so bearing in mind how far away that is, I mean, ideally I'd like to use them up here in Woolstock up here, but we're not really going to do it. Now, Woolstock is okay at the moment, but we've got the kind of annual queue here, which is going to be a little bit of a problem because we need the cover crops, but we won't be able to fix that until we've got our farms a bit more fertile, more efficient harvester. I think there's one due, but I'm not exactly sure when. This area is slowly coming together. We've got this road here, and you can see we're slowly pushing out this way. What I'm really waiting for is this road to be finished. It is now finished. We can start planning our new town here. This will get picked up eventually. So, because what I want to do is not expand the population here. The reason I'm kind of just laughed is that this also applies to Eastleigh. This population is about the size I want it, so we're going to start bringing out the road here. We're going to come back and do some planning there, but I've got another little job I want to do as well. There we've got the fire under control. But what I did notice is that we had one of the fire trucks that was coming out to here was still using horse and cart. These have got to go. I think if we'd have decent, and we're going to bring in, it's time to upgrade our fire engines. Ammo, Russo bolts, year 9. Get some more ammo, F7s, 15s in here. Just check all our fire trucks here. We got a Williams here. Yeah, okay. What we got out here? I think I'm gonna get another fire truck out here. There. And of course we got this guy can go as well. Because they're just too slow. Fire trucks is one thing that you always want to keep up to date. Especially when you're playing with earthquakes enabled. Right, let's just get back to here. The other thing also you see now is there's going to be a rush of repairing buildings, which is a bit unfortunate in the fact that I've already got a big backlog here. You see here. I already had a backlog, as I was talking about when the earthquake hit. But now the earthquake has also damaged buildings, which is actually now going to produce or actually cause a few more problems. Now I'm going to be a little bit controversial. I've had this debate before and I want to talk about it a little bit, simply because we've got a problem with our happiness, in the sense that where it's not building up, it's not staying stable. And I know you guys can't see the print, but you can see that I've got 2,504. I've got a happiness 4 because of low loyalty, and that's all concentration in war stock, and I need to get the productivity up in war stock. So if we go back over to war stock, I really need to put a town center in here so I can show it. But if we come into here and just choose a random building, again, I know you guys can't see it, but you can see here that I've got productivity of 70%, 80, well, it's 84% there, 30% here, because these people have got zero productivity and zero loyalty and 24% happiness. We've got one here with an average productivity of 54%. So I've got to start building the loyalty up. So what I'm going to do is, I mean, we're on 1919 and it's going to take a little while to plan. Again, this is something you do need to really think about when you are, how can you put it, when you've got an early start, is the lag on how long it takes to build something. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually build a radio station. Where's the radio? It's in here, isn't it? Got a historic. Wow, that's a little bit. That needs 30 tons of. That might be a bit much. Where's the one that I built in the? Oops. Radio. Let's get clear of that. Radio City Hall. That's too modern. Just change that. Whoops. Just get it. Radio. People's AM. That's. I mean, it looks good, but it's 134 tons. They got a little. Oh, I think this is the one. The little Soviet radio. It needs 142 tons of concrete, but I think if we can tuck you on just on this corner, it's got all the sanitation it needs and stuff. What's the alternative? We've got the historic one we've looked at. We've got the underground radio station. No, that's 1940s. Radio City Hall. What's this one? This one needs 222 tons of bricks. Sometimes it can be a bit difficult to see. I think this one looks a little bit too modern. Yeah, that thing is massive. Got a small radio. That's too small. I think we're going to go with the little radio station. And we're just going to tuck you on this corner here. Actually, if I put you that way, we can be a little bit smart here. If we put you there like that. As I say, what I'm doing is I'm planning this now. So that we can build it over time slowly, especially as the fact that we've now got this a bit delayed. We'll put a pavement there and then we'll build this in. Say the reason I'm planning this is that it's probably going to take about until 1920 to actually get it anyway, so we might as well just plan it, get it underway, especially if we've got to build another road out here, gravel road, and we can get that. In fact, I think what we will do is we'll actually upgrade that to a thingy bob here, get the our road crew on that, and we'll build a radio station, and then we'll hopefully what we'll be able to do then is improve our productivity. Got a vehicle type here. This is PKP, which is I think is Polish radio station, Polish rail. Let me just see what that is. Well, wherever it is, it's here. Can't see where what it would have been. Let me just see what that actually is. It says it's the BCI 29. Let's just see. Come back into here. Okay, it looks like it might actually be a western one. Let me just see what that actually is. As I say, because now we're considering railway, we need to think a little bit about okay, I can't find it. Oh well, that's the way it goes. Sometimes the game can be a bit inconsistent. Right, the next project that I want to do is actually down in this corner here. Now, the reason I'm down here is that I want to start building up this town here, so that we can start working towards getting coal here. We've also got oil up there by Milford-on-Sea, and also because Milford-on-Sea and Lymington over there were Victorian kind of vacation spots or holiday spots, whatever you want to call them, where the Victorians came down to take the water. So I want to build this up. The reason being is that, as I was trying to get to before the earthquake come and kind of upset my population, is the fact that I don't really want to keep expanding out Warstock and Eastleigh. Well, not the actual town of Warstock. We will expand out for another town there. But so what I want to do is start kind of doing a little bit of prep over here with respect to getting the road system in place through here, so that we can get going, so I can actually start bringing this town to life, because we got the money for it. So So what we're going to do is come here. Oops. I'm going to put a free gas station in. Going to need a free distribution office. Put you there. We're going to buy a oil tanker. We're just going to go with the in-game one. You're going to pick up fuel there and unload there, 50%. Then what I want here is we need a free aggregate store. If I can find it, where's it? Yeah. Got a free aggregate store here and a couple of construction offices. Reconstruct up to. What I'm also going to have to do is start recovering my free construction offices that I've already got. Put 2 in there like that and like that. I'm going to get purchase a couple of dumpers. This one we will go for capacity. Get a couple of those. Get them in. This needs to be gravel. This one we need a couple of bulldozers. Bulldozers. Well, we'll use the steam bulldozers. Got no other choice really. You can bring in gravel, and I want to come in here. Gravel, and we'll set this to 60%. I think 60% would be more than enough. What I'm going to do is, well, we better measure it actually, come to think of it. The first thing I want to do is, yeah, it's 55 tons. So we can, if we fill this up, what we're going to do is bring some gravel in here, and the first thing we're going to do is actually gravel this stretch of road up to here. And then what we're going to do is build this junction into here, and then slowly gravel in all the road system here. Again, it's going to take some time, so that's the reason why I wanted to get this going now. So we're just going to let these guys do their own thing. We're going to come back over to here, and as I say, I want to freeze this here. So what we're going to do is, I just want to find the extent of the right. So I want the town centre here. We'll plan it with mud roads because I don't want the crew getting overly enthusiastic there. Right. And can I bring a road through here? We could bring a road up from here. Say something like that. Curve like that. And we'll bring you in the center of town here. We're going to disturb these guys as well. So we're going to create a town center there. And that will give us an access road in here from there. We've got an access road from here. We are going to need to try and make this into a main artery, but that's the project for another part. But what I want to do is kind of build, actually, if we got that there, let me just check again. Just wondering if we can, we got the coal works there. we got this road coming through here. I think what we will do is we'll leave this space free, and we're actually going to build the town in here. With probably, I don't really want this because this road could get a little bit busy, because it's going to go up there. So we're going to need to take out the workforce from here. I think we're going to remove that. No, we'll keep that for the moment. If I put the main shopping centre in here, so say for example we put in the store. Again, we're going to use our usual corner market here on this corner. Yeah. Wrong one. That's the V1 one. It doesn't have any actual. Yeah, that's the wrong store. Actually, can we go for something a little bit more? I think that's a bit over the top, isn't it? How big's the population is? We're gonna have to run a couple of coal mines. How much did it cost to build this? 23 tons of steel. 121 tons of bricks. What's the V2? This is 4.8 tons of steel. Small stuff. I think we're going to use. That's one market. This is V2. We're going to stick with this. I'd rather have 2 small stores than one big large one in the center, for exactly the reason what has just happened in Eastleigh with respect to the earthquake. Having 2 stores gives us an internal resilience, right? So we're gonna build a Tudor warehouse out here like that. So that will give us that area there. So we got this here. We're going to need a swimming pool in the center as well. So where's the swimming pool? Sports hall. Actually, we can put the swimming pool doesn't need a road connection. So we're going to kind of build a more traditional looking town, although I need to think a little bit about the what do we call it? This is going to be asphalt. So we are going to be trying to make this a little bit more efficient. Hospital, we've got a small clinic, 80. Wow, that's way too big. Where's the hospital? This has got 90. Trouble with this 5-store pharmacy, it's only got parking for 2 vehicles. The historic hospital is a bit more. I think we're going to have to stick with the historic hospital. It's still by far the best we've actually got. So we're going to just put that there. Now, of course, the next thing we're going to need to think about is sanitation. Traffic jam. Oh, great. It's this idiot again. It's where these vehicles get stuck. Okay, just flip it back the other way. Yeah, it's a bit of a flaw with these waste burning pits. But hopefully we'll get our incinerator up and running fairly soon. In fact, I might prioritize the incinerator. Actually, come to think of it, Do we actually have a power supply out here at the moment? All right, we need that built to deliver the workforce. Actually, we need this done as well. I think we're just come straight out like that, because we're going to need to just deliver the supplies to here. Oh no, this is just the depot, but that's okay. We're going to need a... I haven't built the substation here yet. We'll just drop the substation in here. This needs to be built as well. Next question is, where's our nearest power supply? Wow. Okay, have I got an issue with power supply? Oh, this could be fun. I thought I had a... what we call it out here. Right, we got... that's way too far away. It's got to be a... ah, here we are. We're going to have to go underground again. I think, yep, actually you can see it better now. I think what we'll do is... this is going to be quite a... I know, strictly speaking, power supplies, you know, should be above ground at this time, but I really like the aesthetic of the underground power cables. It must makes the place look a little bit more realistic. Not would say realistic, aesthetically pleasing, because I just don't like the kind of scrappy bits and pieces that are going over there. So we're working on this bridge here. We're going to work on that bridge there because I want to get rid of this gravel road here, because it's going to make life a little bit easier with respect to putting in the connections here. Actually, no, that's just there. Okay, back to, well, let's go and check over here. How are we doing? Right, this needs to be built so we can start planning. How's the... all right, we're finally getting control of that. This is it's a 5-story. Start rebuilding the Jade apartment here. That needs to be built. Assign you to make that and that and that. What we got going over here while we're here, this is slowly being built as well, but we'll just leave them to it to get it done. Right, next thing we need to do is these guys should have a nice big pile of gravel here now. Yeah, I think 180 tons is more than enough. You can go there, pick up gravel from there. I don't want you building that, suspend that for the moment. I only want you to build one thing, which is that. Mess this up, demolish the road. Nearly made a mistake there. Bulldozer. Right, we'll just get the bulldozer in. Yeah, nearly made a really silly mistake there, because we need the bulldozer to build the actual gravel road. Right, now we can build the gravel road there. In fact, we're both of them there. You can detect everything for 1,000 kilometers, 1,000 meters. Sorry, not kilometers. What I'm on about. And these guys can now get set into. Oh, I think I had a bulldozer. Oh, I bought bulldozers instead of dumpers. I'm an idiot. So I've got way too many bulldozers here now. We've only got the. Luckily, I've got the 2 dumpers here, but that's okay. We can sort that out. They get there eventually. We can sort them out. Once this is built, we can give them a little bit more kind of control over what they're actually doing. Let me just see. Right. On the 1st of October, let's do our not really getting the crops in. This is very, very slow. I get the feeling that we're actually harvesting less than rather than more. What are you doing there? Oh, you're repairing that apartment block. Yeah, it can't work because kindergarten. Yes, I know, game. We really do need this. It really pushed hard, but there's not much we can do about it. Are you guys still clearing the... Yeah. One thing we... Oh, are you actually in range of... Yeah, you're in range of the kindergarten. That's good. I've got a feeling these may not be as good as I thought they'd be. I need to see what these guys actually got inside them. You've got a cement mixer. I think I might need to upgrade these. Cement workers, we've got a steam hauler. What we got here? We've only got the 1 bus in here. Wonder if that's dragging down. No, we've got 2 buses. I think maybe I need to actually upgrade these guys a bit to... I think what I'm going to do is we're just going to have to make these into maintenance, and eventually what we're going to have to do when we come to build up Southampton, which is something I do want to do, we're just going to have to build another proper construction office out about here, which will do the... And then we'll just leave these guys purely on maintenance, and then we'll try and modernize them a little bit. But we need to get the maintenance under control first. See, these guys are not delivering the steel. I think I should get you on that. Well, we got a construction crane, but what we want is some steel. Please, game. There we go. Oh, wow. Okay. This is big. This is really big. I didn't think I was going to get this until the 1920s. This is going to be a little bit of a game changer, because the harvest speed of here is 16, which when you think that this is 10 and this is 9. So what we're going to have to do is, it's too late for this harvest now, but what we're going to have to do is replace all our combine harvesters with the People's pre-war harvester. This is what I was waiting for. This will make a pretty big difference with respect to our farms for the next year's harvest, because it will mean that you can see how slow these guys are going. And so if we can get more crops in and delivered, then we won't lose crops to fields here, because these guys are definitely going a lot slower than they were before. Let me just see over here. Yeah, so you can see here we got fields here which are never going to be harvested. Although this one seems to gather crops a little bit faster. Yep, so we got a bit of a game changer there, which we can work on. These guys are coming here. We can now make up the factory connection to there. Where's the road connection here? We can make the road connection to there, because this is going to be the aggregate storage. And then, so what we can do is start collecting the gravel, bringing it down to here, coming down into here. And we need to build this here for gravel processing. And we need to get this built as well, and this built. So we need to really focus on trying to get this done. Now, I'm aware that I'm starting to run out of time. I was going to do the sanitation, wasn't I? Because this sanitation is way too far away. I think we're just going to have to do it in its own self-contained way. So we're going to do the foul water first. On a part of me kind of says put it down here. What's the contours like? Yeah, we got plenty of good strong contours here, so we put it about there, and we are going to go straight for the what we call it, the sewage treatment plant, because this would be too close to that. Says what's the infrastructure here then? There's no infrastructure here. Underground part can't build due to infrastructure. Can I level this off a little bit? Maybe just create a little bit of a, yeah, that's better. Is that the right one? Ah, it's the wrong one. That's the right one. Put you about there. We don't need that. We can connect that up with that. And then we can large sewer pipe. Start with the one in the center. You can connect to there. And we've got a little bit of space here for the sewage kind of pick up. We put this first sewage pickup there. And of course, I always like the water substation to be around this area. Yeah, we can, depending on where we put the water thing in, so we can put that there. We are going to put a sewage switch in. This should be higher than that, so we put a sewage switch in about there. Actually, it's got to be about there actually. So if we put the sewage switch there, you can come to there. I want it zigging out like that. So that will give us our kind of waste disposal sanitation, which will run out from here, and it will give us 2 branches plus the option of going up that way, because technically there's a possibility that we may want to put water into this area. In fact, we will need or at least sewage disposal. So for, say for example, we would have to put that in about there, and we would have to run, and I wouldn't want to connect it to the town system. So eventually, actually we could run it out that side, couldn't we? And run, yeah, it's not a problem. Okay, so yeah, so we can use this side of the sewage treatment plant to actually run water up into this area, because this is going to be a primary construction area, so we do need a fair amount of water here. Don't know why the game's on pause. Right, I'm aware that I'm definitely running out of time now, so yeah, these guys are cracking along quite nicely. They will get this built, and then we will be in a position to start I think we will build the bridge over, build the bridge or not build the bridge. I think we will build the bridge in slow time, but at the same time, I think what we will do is do something like that. And we will kind of do something like that. We're going to kind of get rid of this now. These guys can, we got 41 tons in there. That's 19 tons. That's 120 tons. I think what we'll do is we'll get the gravel roads being built, because we want to gravel this in. In fact, we may even asphalt it. Although technically we're going to need a main road that's going to run over the top of the town, so that we don't put all the traffic through the center of town. So maybe we'll put a junction, come across the railway there, take a road off there, build up round that way. So when we plan the town here, we'll get that done. But first we're just building this road connection here. Right, this is back to the kindergarten. Have you actually finished it yet? Nearly. We are making money. That's on the good side. We got happiness is kind of still there, but death of a child. Yep. We'll get that to boost our population up. This is being built. Final check on our, right, we've finally got our maintenance under control, and we are building out this area here, and we are building out this area here. Welcome back. We have now finished up this area here, and that means that I can now reassign this, pick up gravel from the border, and this is no longer required because we've emptied this out. And what I'm going to do is assign you to the border as well. In fact, I think, and what we're going to do is get some more dumpers here. workshop capacity, non-concrete. I want dumpers. 1, 2, 3. So we're going to work these guys to exhaustion now. What you see here is we've actually got a bulldozer. I think that is actually a NATO bulldozer. I think there's a whole crop of them suddenly turn up. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, we got here. See, this is only still got a bulldozer speed of 6, a snowplow of 4. So while it looks pretty good, it's still slower than what we've already got. And this is, again, just because a bulldozer or vehicle shows up doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be better. So what you got to do is come in here, and just to give you an update of why we've actually paused the video. You can see we've still got the crops coming into here. We're rapidly closing in on December. So this farm, we got 1,963 tons of crops in here. The other thing I was thinking about is if we can get a good performance from the combine harvesters, we can then start thinking about maybe making synthetic fertilizer. It's technically a little bit early in the game, but things going here. But you can see here, even if we started harvesting out these, because like this is represents a loss of nearly 450 tons of crops, same as this one here. Maybe not 450, but it still represents quite a big loss in the way of crops. So we've got about 800 tons of crops into here, and we've got kind of 600-700 tons in here, because these are not all going to be harvested by the 2nd of December. On the positive side, if we come in here, you see that we haven't got any crops piled up in here. We've got 0.1 tons of crops in there, but it's nothing to worry about. And as I say, of course, with our snow plow now, we've got a little bit more efficiency running here. We've got this area's building up. Just to give you an update of what's going on here, we've now got the kindergarten rebuilt. So we've now kind of got rid of the problem about the people being unable to work, but we've got some unemployment. And let's see what, of course, the unemployment's going to be a little bit deceptive, because like we've got some unemployment in this area, but that's partly due to the fact that these two buildings are shut down. But we do have our little Soviet radio station being built here. Hopefully that will be available by the end next year. Well, I've forgotten all about that gas station. Okay, you on that gas station. I'm building this just to try and get these guys a little bit more efficient. The other thing I was thinking about is that I might need to start a program of actually graveling these roads in, but I'm trying to look for somewhere where we might be able to gravel a road in, but it's not as easy as it looks actually, because some of the crops that are being harvested, part of me would like to start improving this road, but I don't think I can get. I think, well, we've just, right, the harvest is just finished. I think what I will do is get that built there, set that to high priority, get the road crew on it, that one there, and I think also we're start out here, get that there, set that to high priority. I mean, to be honest, if we lose 2 fields because of that's not finished, but we have to kind of build in this way. As I say, you can see we lost a couple of fields there, we lost some fields there. This has got 800 tons. It's not going to last 5 minutes, but we've got, say, 750 tons there. And over here, it looks like, well, it's difficult to tell. We might have actually cleared all these fields, but it might be the fact the snow's already covering them up. We got 1,600 tons of crops into here. Anyway, this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you found it interesting. So what I'll do is I'll play right through until about April, May next year, so that we can actually get in the actual combine harvesters. In fact, I'll probably do them off camera, because what I'm going to have to do is scrap these here. Actually, let's do that now while I'm thinking about it. Go there. Just to give you an example of what I'll do this off camera actually, because it's going to be a little bit tedious. And of course we want the actual scrap capability, so just dump off all these steam comp mines like this. Just let the game run. That one, that one, and then all we got to do then is come into here, workshop, harvester, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there. But I'll do the other 2 farms off camera, and I'll come back just as say late June, early July, and when we'll pick up, and then in the next part we'll do another full summer cycle and try and get a few things done. But until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.